Hey guys, Kiana back again with another video. This time, this video is gonna be about something a little bit serious because we need to care about our emotions. When the main part of this, because I was watching a video last night about how I was talking about emotional consistency and things like that. And some of us, it's kind of hard to kind of think about it. And, we don't really kind of cognitively think about, and I use the word cognitively a lot because, when you listen and things like that, you become more and more cognitive about the things that you say. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. I was on the way home and I was doing something because guys, I don't know if you guys seen, but I had this printer over here. But I ended up selling it today because this lady messaged me out of nowhere. I actually forgot that I posted the printer on the freaking internet even. And so I posted the printer on the thing. And I forget, but guys, you should have seen the printer. It was like huge. It didn't have like a regular ink payload. The freaking payload of the ink, bro, it held like, instead of like your little two traditional printer right here where you have just a regular ink setup where you got the ink cartridge and you put it in, no, this one had a payload, guys. I wish I could freaking put a picture in, but I'd have to edit this video. I don't really have any editing software, so but I wish I had a freaking picture of it. But it was huge, guys. Before I sold it, you guys will see another one if I get another one. But it was a huge printer, guys. It had to be like 80 pounds. Freaking the payload, you had to click it, and then there were like these multiple cartridges you had to pull out. It was pretty serious. So, but I woke up to a text and she was like, "Hey, is this available?" and all this stuff. And I was like, "Lady, you want my printer?" I was like, I told her I was like, I'm debating whether because she messaged me about it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it to her. But then she was taking long to get here, so I was like, you know what, I am gonna tell her never mind. And next thing you know, she texted me. She's like, "I'm 15 minutes away." I'm like, "Dang it!" Oh, I don't want to sell it. But I was like, all right, so she's here. So printer's gone, and guys, I'm gonna do a separate review. I picked up another laptop. It just kind of found its way to me, so I'll make a video about that. And yeah, guys, so with that being said, let's go ahead and move forward to today's message. And what I'm talking about, I sent myself an email to talk about this last night. I've been making some fire videos lately, so I wanted to sit down and make this next fire video with you guys. So in this video, I wanted to talk about how serious it is to watch what you talk about with your friends, because what you talk about with your friends is essentially what they're gonna regurgitate to you as far as what you guys call normal conversation. So I was just at the store and I was on my way home from kind of cashing in to check the money that, I was exchanging the money that the lady gave me or whatever. I just got it, I got the what's it called? I got the what's it called? It's the, I forget the word that they call it, but 5 10s. I just exchanged it for all one so I can put it up for savings or whatever. And so I was on the way home and I seen one of my old friends that I would usually smoke with, and and so Uh, I was a little good, because he said he gave me a message. He said that he's gonna be stopping the stuff. He's gonna be stopping smoking and stuff like that. So that's really really good. Um, and I think he caught me because he, it was like he was sitting on the corner and sometimes people would text you out of destruction. Like some people would text you to ruin themselves, and I was one of those people. Like, let me not act perfect. I was one of those people where it was like, hey, when I wanted to like destroy myself, like I would go out and smoke, and I would not be happy when I woke up. I would have the worst hangover. I would have the worst, you know, punishment spiritually. I would just feel like I just betrayed my whole family. Like it was just bad. And so that was simply because, the conversation that I put myself in was the conversation of saying, hey, hey, let's normalize drugs, this and that. And that's why it's such a big political issue because, like, you legalize drugs and then what you turn into exactly what you were trying to run away from. It's so weird how that happens. And that dynamic, but let's just kind of continue like to veer the situation about like what it's actually important about. And it's important about when you get money. Like when you get money, do something smart with it. Like listen to yourself when you tell yourself to do something smart with it. No matter if you get $500, $600, $700, $800, make sure when you get that $600, $500, $700, $800, you use that money to like pay off your credit card, or you use that money to maybe like smoke a little herb or whatever, and legal herb. And then even if you have to, even if you do run out of money and you smoke yourself to sleep, you'll wake up the next morning and you'll be like, hey, well, I need to change. Like I need eventually you'll get tired of it, and eventually you'll change. Pray that into your life if you want to change. Pray that into your surroundings if you want them to change. Like I said, because people sometimes are like parrots. Sometimes people teach things to parrots and they say the same thing back. They have their own little personality, but sometimes it's just regurgitated information. So, sometimes, you can teach your child, you can teach yourself, you can teach your friends, you can teach, your pets to, remind you or remind themselves to do things that are a little bit more on the voyage walk of going to get something more worth the time, of a creator to be proactive with you rather than, creator be, uh, 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 destructive with you because you were destructive with Earth. So, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's a quick one, but it's a really deep one. Some of us form trauma bonds. Trauma bonds. We find ourselves loving people that allow us to hurt ourselves, and we get um, these add-on paraphernalia, like this add-on obsession with being able to harm ourselves because we don't know that we would actually rather do the best thing, or the best thing for us is to do the best thing, but at the time we don't know what to tell ourselves. Like we haven't formed that habit of, hey, I'm starting to think negative, like let me do something else. And that sounds so simple, but it's so powerful because you know and it's such a surreal situation to think about. I think that's why certain things happen the way that they happen on Earth, and we're looked after because some of us make these mistakes on the way to spiritual stability and finding out where we're actually supposed to be in life. So I say that to continue. If you want the universe to be nice to you, or if you want the universe to pay attention to the little things with you, then you have to make sure to regurgitate this information that I'm telling you, to yourself. Regurgitate this information to your spirit. Regurgitate this information to your spiritual diet. Regurgitate this information to your mental choices, and your kids' mental choices, your mental choices. um, and just be careful about what you talk about and what you form bonds with people with, because if you form bonds with doing the wrong thing, then you've almost created a digressive, psychopath in yourself. Psychopath meaning psychological, neurological path, thinking pattern of going the wrong way. And you've built some type of religion, you've built some type of routine with it. Um, and that's not necessarily the most healthiest thing to do. Um, Neither is it the most proactive thing to do. Neither is it the most truthful thing to do. So, uh, but the best thing about it is that's why we make these videos, as creators and things like that. Um, is is the fact that um you may not know. So just because you're being digressive doesn't mean that you're digressive on purpose. Um, it may be, that's why some of us have to like dig down, dig deeper. Because sometimes and that's why sometimes you have to give people chances, because sometimes you don't know why they're being digressive. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what they're scared of. You don't know what they don't know. You don't know what they've witnessed and things like that. So you always want to take a slow walk with yourself, because you also don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know could be the remedy to your sickness, to your struggling, to your wrong routine. So, guys, just watch what you talk about, because what you talk about is your aptitude. Exactly. So, um, with that being said, guys, definitely like and subscribe to this video. I hope this video helped you out a lot, and I hope it reminded you a lot about the correct way to think, as it helped me when I received the message to make a video about it. So, guys, I will see you in the next video. Love you guys. Continue to be healthy. Continue to be safe. Peace, my life, guys.